Hello, this is Michael Halper with SalesScripter, and in this video, I'm going to provide a demonstration of the SalesScripter software application. Now, if you've watched any of our training videos, you may have heard me talk about before you create a sales script, take a step back and first create your sales message. And when I refer to a sales message is basically a collection of all the key things we should be communicating when we're trying to sell a product. Now, if you were to hire me as a sales consultant and I were to work with you to build your sales message, I would take you through a structured process where I would interview you and ask you a lot of different questions about what you sell. And I've turned that sales consulting process into a series of web pages, and that is what is here, which is called the Sales Message Builder. When you create your SalesScripter account, you will first go to the Sales Message Builder and you will go through these steps inside of the software. And at each of these steps, the software will ask you questions. And this is where you enter information about what you sell, the benefits that your product delivers, the pain points that your product can help make go away, enter different questions that you should be asking, build a quick little short customer example, and a place for you to organize the objections that you can anticipate. Now, not only does the software give you a place for you to put all this knowledge that is in your head, but the software actually asks you questions and helps you to organize all of those thoughts and think about new things that you should be communicating. So the Sales Message Builder will make it easier for you to create a more powerful sales message and for you to be more organized with all the different things that you should say. Now, once you have your sales message inside of SalesScripter, then the software will use all of that information to fill out this sales playbook. The sales playbook is a library of documents. So there's a folder for sales scripts, a folder for email templates, voicemails, questions, marketing documents. Each of these folders has a list of documents. These are templates and documents and scripts that have already been loaded up into the software. And when you first create your account, these documents will be filled in about 60 to 70% complete. And the remainder of the documents fill in with your answers from your sales message that you created in the Sales Message Builder. So in the sales scripts folder here, you have a whole set of cold call scripts. You also have an inbound script, appointment script, networking script, objection responses, and more. Now, I'll show you what some of these documents look like, starting with the first one. The first one is one of my favorite cold call scripts. This is cold call script value intro. And so this is an example of a script that's generated by the software. And you can see it's mostly an outline. We don't necessarily create a whole document with long paragraphs that you need to either read from or memorize. We create outlines of the key things that you should be communicating or your salespeople should be communicating. And you can see that most of the document is bullet points. Each of these bullet points is an answer that you answered inside of the Sales Message Builder. So this is a cold call script. It's more of an outline of the key things that you should be communicating when you end up on the phone with a prospect. Now, what I showed you there is more of what we would call it sort of a document view, a traditional view of a script. We also display those same documents in what we call our interactive view. This is what most of our customers like and use. And this is basically an interactive view, kind of a fixed screen, single pane of glass, single view that you can see all of your script and get to the key information easier, because this is that exact same script that I just showed you. But instead of having a long document that you scroll from the top to the bottom, these are the same sections of that document. And here each section is broken out and you can bounce around and get to the key thing that you want to discuss or be reminded that you should discuss depending on how the conversation goes. So it's an easier document to view on a very short, quick cold call. In this single view, we are also able to display other documents. For example, on this right side here, you see other buttons. These are actually your objection responses that would have been attached to that sales message in the Sales Message Builder. And for each objection, you have a different objection response. Some of these objections have 3 different responses that you might want to choose from depending on how the conversation is going. But the point here is that over here is your script, and over here are all the different objections that you want to have access to or have your salespeople to have quick access to. And this is a good place to put frequently asked questions as well. For example, if there's a frequently asked question of what are the contract terms, that's not an objection. But if you have salespeople that you're trying to give this script to, this is a good place to put questions like that. And then you can detail here in the body here, the detailed answer, so that you can minimize how much time you have to teach your new salespeople all the different answers to all the different questions that they can anticipate when talking to prospects. And down here at the bottom are voicemail scripts. So here are 4 different voicemail scripts. And if you leave voicemail messages, or you don't need to display voicemail scripts, down here at the bottom, what some of our customers do, instead of having these as voicemail scripts, they display more detailed product information when clicking on these buttons. So they have like product brochures and product data sheets. So what I just showed you there was one script, and you have all these different scripts, which basically mixes and matches all the key points in your sales message into different scripts. For example, pain intro, name drop intro, product intro, close intro. So what we try to do, you certainly wouldn't use all of these different documents. We try to give you more documents than you need in the hopes that one of these fits better with your product or your selling style. Think of it as like similar to buying a blender. If you buy a blender, you get a recipe book, and most likely you won't use all the different recipes in the book. You might use a few of them. You might get some ideas from them. You might not use the recipe book at all. In fact, some of our customers like the interactive display. They love this and they want to use this for their salespeople, but they already have a script. They don't need the scripts that the software generates. So what they do is they basically rip out the script that the software creates, and they insert their own script that they already had before signing up for SalesScripter. So that's certainly an option you have. This is very easy to customize. So you can edit these labels on these buttons over here. You can add more buttons on these different sides. You can customize what is shown in the middle, and that's very easy to do. All you have to do is click this edit button on a particular script, and you can fully customize that script. The next main folder here is email templates, and this is basically a library of email messages. These are basically email templates that we've created, and what we've done is, if we have all the key answers from your sales message, such as the different benefits your product resolves or pain points, we can use all of that information to create a number of different email templates. So this is an example of a cold email value. And so what we do is we basically use all of the different benefits from the product and use that to create a cold email message. So you have a whole set of different emails, value email, pain email, name drop email, product email, and each of these are different emails. And certainly you could treat these like you do with the script. You could use it exactly as is, or you could use it as a starting place to build on and to add more information or to take some information out. Now you can see here that most of these are individual emails, cold email, cold email, cold email, but some of these will say cold email thread. The cold email threads are actually a series of emails that the software generates, because basically the software gives you a bunch of different cold email messages, and you can basically use all of those to create a series of messages. And we've done the work to sort of put all that together. So out of the box, you're going to get a number of different cold email threads that you can either, again, build on, add more messages to it, use it as a starting place, and use those cold email threads as part of your email drip and cold email campaigns that you send to your prospects. Now, one common question for us is, why would I need this software for more than 1 month? Because it's a monthly subscription. And certainly, if you only want to create a script and get a few emails, you could sign up for 1 month, use the software, create a sales message. You can download all of these documents to Microsoft Word, close your account, and just pay one time. You can certainly do that. There are a few reasons why most of our customers have a subscription ongoing for either a few months or many months to multiple years. And here are those reasons, because this is a very common question. I mentioned going through our sales message builder to create your sales message. In reality, you likely should create at some point more than one sales message. This drop down right here, this is actually a sales message button. And I'm logged into my own account. I actually have in my account 4 different sales messages, and each sales message creates a unique sales playbook. And you might have a different sales message for the different products or services that you sell. You might have a different sales message for the different audiences that you sell to. For example, I have a sales message for sales trainers, and I also have a sales message for VPs of sales. While these are both selling the same product, the things I need to talk about when I talk to sales trainers are totally different than sales managers. So I'm able to have totally different emails and totally different scripts. And I can flip from one of these to another by just selecting that in the dropdown. And the whole sales playbook is going to then update with different benefits, different questions. The script will then update with different questions. And this is that same sales message button up here. Now, why am I showing you that? Well, if you have many sales messages, that's going to create a lot of different documents. And yes, if you want to minimize your cost and only pay once, you can download all of the documents. But if you have many sales messages, it could be a lot of documents to download. And then if you want to share those documents with your salespeople, instead of emailing out a lot of different documents to all your salespeople, you can basically have this software ongoing and start to use this as a repository for all of your different scripts and all of your different emails, and it can make that easier. So that's one reason to keep your account ongoing. Another reason is that a lot of our customers, like I said, like this interactive view screen. And if you want yourself or your salespeople to have access to this and have this up in front of you when you're making calls, you would need to have an active subscription. So that is another reason why you might want to use the software ongoing. So that's a quick demonstration of the sales message builder and then the sales playbook that fills in with your sales message. I'm now going to move on to the CRM area of the software. Now, our CRM is different in a few ways. So of course it is a comparable CRM to most any other CRMs out there that are on the market. You can import contacts, import accounts, you can create opportunities and track leads through your sales cycle. You can create tasks and reminders of follow-up to-do tasks. So pretty comparable stuff there. What I want to do in this demo is focus more on how our CRM is different from other CRMs out there. So I'm going to click on a contact here. One feature that's very different in our system is a gamification feature. And so this is a feature that we refer to as prospect points. And you can see this chart here. This is one element of our prospect points gamification feature. And this chart is basically a picture of what's going on with this prospect. The green line is the quality line. So we do really good lead scoring for your contacts or your accounts or your leads. And that is shown here in this graph. So you can see the graph is going up and up and up. So this is a good prospect. So that's the quality line. And then we also have the pursuit points, the pursuit line. And this is how hard we're pursuing the prospect, how many calls we're making to them, how many emails we're sending them. So this is actually just my own demo contact in here. But this is a great contact because they're way more interested than we are spending time in chasing them. What you'll see with most of your cold prospects that you're actively pursuing is these lines will be flip-flopped because mostly you're calling them and emailing them, and then you're only going to probably be getting a little bit of love and response from them. So these usually get flip-flopped, but what you're looking for here is the difference in these lines. And what this chart will do is it'll help you to come to terms with, this is not a good prospect. This is not a prospect that I should spend more time pursuing. I should not keep calling this prospect. I should not spend a whole week working on a presentation or proposal. So this is a really good piece of information. Most of these points on the chart are generated automatically by sending out emails from our CRM. When you send out emails, it generates pursuit points. When prospects open emails and click on links in emails, then we automatically generate quality points. There are some points that you can manually add to contacts, and you can do that by this feature here called Login Interaction. This is also very unique and a feature that we offer that's much better than other CRMs. Other CRMs will have a button similar to this that will say log a call. Our button says log an interaction because there are many things that you could or should log in addition to calls. Certainly you can log a call, but you also might want to log an email exchange, log a meeting, log a marketing activity, social media, networking. So what we've done is we've made this more broad by expanding it beyond logging a call. And then what we've also done is pre-filled in the most common things that happen in that particular type of interaction. And what you can do is easily select what you want to document. So you can make a really detailed note for whatever you're logging without having to type out anything and organize your notes. The other thing that we do is then we add or take away quality points or pursuit points for each thing that you're documenting. And the points are different depending on what happened. Some of these are positive, some of these are negative. So what this allows you to do is be very detailed in your follow-up and document exactly what happened. The next thing I want to show you is this area of lists. So one thing that we try to do with SalesScripter is make it crystal clear what you should be communicating when you're talking to prospects. Not only do we want to make it crystal clear what to communicate, but we also want to make it crystal clear who you should be communicating to. And one of the ways we do that is we make it real easy for you to organize lists of target prospects that you're pursuing or that you should be pursuing. In my own experience of using a lot of different CRMs over my career, I always end up with thousands and thousands of contacts in my CRM, and it's not ever really clear on Monday morning who I need to start going after for the week. So what we do is we make it real easy to create lists of these are the contacts and for this particular industry, or this is a particular grouping of contacts that I'm going after. And so for example, this is my own account, and just to demo this, here's a group of people that attended webinars of mine. So from this list, yes, I have tens of thousands of contacts in my CRM, but on this list, I have 4,000 people that attended webinars. So this is a really clear picture of if I wanted to launch a campaign or send an email or have an SDR do some sort of outreach, I could give them this list, and this helps make it clear who we should be pursuing. Not only is the list a concentrated list of that we need to go after, but we also organize these lists according to quality points. Remember, the quality points is lead scoring of how qualified or unqualified the prospect is. And so you can see here, these are all organized according to quality points. And what that allows us to do, again, is have a crystal clear picture of who we should be contacting. Because if I go to the last page of this list, you'll see that there's actually people that attended webinars that you would think, well, if they attended a webinar, they're qualified and we should call them. But these people actually have 0 quality points. So the lead scoring combined with being able to organize prospects according to lists makes it crystal clear who we should contact. The CRM also provides email automation functionality. And so there are 2 different ways that you can send emails. You can certainly use what we would refer to more of as a traditional send email feature, that you could send an email out to an individual contact or to a list of contacts, and you could send one email, or you could send an email thread from the Sales Playbook library. And if you send a series of emails, those will all get scheduled out and then go out to either that one contact or out to that list of contacts. We also have an email campaigns feature where you can create an email campaign that is a series of emails. And so this is just a more robust way to do email automation. You can create a series of emails and then add a list of contacts to that series of emails. So there are multiple ways to send emails out. Another feature that's unique to our CRM is this email guesser feature. And this basically is a tool that will help you to identify what your contact's email address is if you don't have that. And where this comes from is that when I was a salesperson, I had to sell to CFOs at one point, and I could very easily get a CFO's name from the website or from the financial reports, but I didn't necessarily have their email address. But I knew that the email address for that executive was always some combination of their first name, last name, and then usually the company website address. And so what I would often do is I would often run different combinations of those and send the CFO an email. What typically happens is that if you have the wrong email address, you'll get some sort of undeliverable email back. And if it's a good email address, then nothing comes back. So through trial and error, you can often guess a prospect's email address if you have these three pieces of information. And while that works, it's a bit cumbersome and clunky, especially if you're trying to do that for a lot of different prospects. So what I did is that I combined that logic of combining these three values with a tool that will run a test ping against an email record database. And so with those two things combined, what this email guesser does is that if you insert these three values, we run a test ping on these three different combinations, and we will tell you what the correct email address is for that individual. So this is a really helpful tool, especially if you use LinkedIn and B2B selling. You can get these three pieces of information in a matter of seconds, then plug them into our email guesser, and you can get their email address. It works probably about 80% of the time. And then if you're using our email campaign, then you could just then add them as a contact and then add them to your email campaign and get them loaded up and on an automated series of emails. And it's really efficient. And the best thing about it is then you're sending emails to the prospect's business email inbox, which is a lot better than sending emails to a LinkedIn inbox or a personal inbox. In fact, we've used LinkedIn a lot for prospecting over the years. And once we started having the email guesser, we stopped sending LinkedIn invitation requests because that just slows you down. And then a lot of times when someone accepts your invitation request, you end up getting their personal email inbox. So this will get you their business email inbox. So it's really helpful. The last thing I want to show you here is our sales training resources. So you can see here, Smart Sales System. This is actually our sales methodology. So if you haven't gone through this for yourself, these videos would be really good for you to go through. These are actually all on YouTube for free as well. But one of the benefits to having access to these modules inside of the software is in the software, we have quizzes for all of these. These are each a 5-question quiz, not real complicated answers. The questions are really designed to measure, did this person watch the video and pay attention and understand the general concepts? So this is really good if you have salespeople that work for you. And if you want them to use this tool set, then these are really good videos for them to watch, and you could incorporate this as part of your new sales hire onboarding, and you could have them take the quiz, and you can see which salespeople have completed the quizzes and how much they've completed. And the last training resource that I want to show you is this role play feature here, which actually uses sort of like an AI Siri type of technology, and we've designed it to where that person, that AI individual, can play 3 different roles. You have a prospect role, a gatekeeper role, and then just objections. And so if I just show you this real quick.
Hello, this is Mark.
Hi, Mark. How are you doing?
Just working.
Great. Do you have a minute?
I am busy right now.
Okay. When would be a good time for me to call you back?
Call me tomorrow morning.
Okay. I'll call you at 10 a.m.
Okay, great.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
So as you can see, a really good tool to use to help you warm up. You can use that to practice your objections, practice some of the different things that are going to come up when you talk to a prospect. So a really good tool there. It's really helpful because I think just about everybody agrees that the more role playing you can do, the better you will perform. But it's often difficult to find someone to role play with. It's uncomfortable for the person that's more experienced. It's uncomfortable for the person that needs the practice. And it takes another person, whether that's a peer or a manager or a trainer, away from doing other stuff. So this is a tool that someone can use in their own privacy and not feel embarrassed and not have to impact someone else's productivity, and incorporate this as a daily warm-up or weekly warm-up on Monday morning. So it's a pretty cool tool, and be sure to check it out. But that is pretty much it for this demo. Let us know if you have any questions. The best place to go if you need more information is our website, and there is a lot more information on our pricing or the different packages. And if you want to contact us and have any questions, probably the best place to do it is this little button right here. This is a chat feature, and those actually come to me personally. So feel free to contact us, ask me a question if you have any questions, and we look forward to either answering your questions or maybe having you as a SalesScripter customer one day in the future. Thanks for being here, and have a great day.